today we're going to talk about the 7 deadly sins of buying a home. I get what you're saying about the devil. I'm Bill Dean with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate here in Bismarck, North Dakota, your local real estate expert. And today we're going to talk about the
deadly sins
of buying a home.
There are 7 deadly sins, Captain.
These are the things that you do not want to do. Do not do this, or you will screw yourself over.
You can't tell me what to do.
Starting off the countdown, number 1, not shopping your lenders. There are tons and tons of banks out there. Most people just go to the bank that has their checking account, debit card. That's a great start, but shop around because different banks get competitive on different fees, on different points, which is a percentage-based fee based on how much you're borrowing. And then, of course, the interest rate itself. And the problem is you can't just call a lender and ask them what their rate is because it depends. It depends on your credit, depends on how aggressive they are buying those. Do not go to just one bank to get approved. Shop around. If you can save even 1% on your loan, that's going to save you $2,700. When you get high-end houses, we're talking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 you can save.
$8,000 you can save.
Just because you went shopping.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
So, do not commit deadly sin number 1, not shopping your lender. All right, number 2 on our countdown is putting things on credit during the buying process. How this works is you get a DTI, it's called, or debt to income ratio. A bank can only lend you so much money based on how much money you make. For a quick rule of thumb, it's about half.
Right.
So,
Let's do the
if you're
math.
under contract on a house and you start buying furniture, new car, anything like that will give you an additional monthly payment, for every $2 you spend, you lose $1 that you can put on your house. So do not borrow things. It happens all the time. They're 1 week away from closing on their house. They get super excited. There's a great sale at a furniture store, and they buy it on credit. Then they go back to pull the credit right at the end, and all of a sudden, hey, you're no longer qualified to buy this house. Do not do that. Do not go buy a new car. Wait on the furniture. It's okay to go shopping, but do not buy anything on credit when you're trying to buy a home. Your lender is going to thank you, and you're going to thank yourself not having to reapply for all of that. So that's deadly sin number 2.
That makes sense.
Deadly sin
Number 3,
This is getting good.
trying to do all this yourself. Is it very hard to talk about a price, walk into a bank, sit down with buyer seller, and get a deal done?
Yes.
No, it's not. Does it happen very often? Hardly. Reality is the contracts that a professional agent uses not only dictates the term and the price, but it also has a lot of provisions to protect you. That way, you can't get sued. They can be sued if they did something dishonest. Yes! And much, much more.
You're safe.
So is it easy to buy a house? It can be. But where people screw up is that they don't have all the protections that come with using a professional, using professional documents, and making sure that all the legal work is done to own the home. The last thing you want to do is hand someone over thousands of dollars, and then they come back and say, oh, hey, you don't actually own your house. I need you to move out. So do not commit the sin number 3, which is doing it all yourself.
Deadly sin number 4.
That was scary.
Not using a home inspector. This one, I cannot stress it enough. This house has been standing there for a while, even brand new construction. It doesn't matter. A home inspector is one of the most important steps in buying a home. Not only do they check the roof, crawl in the attic, they might check under the house, they check the plumbing, the electrical, the heating and cooling systems, the windows. This is your top to bottom inspection on a home, and you'll get a report to tell you everything that's going on with the house. No house is perfect, so just know they're going to beat it up. That's their job. You want to know what things are going well and what things aren't with the home for 2 reasons. 1, you can negotiate. 2, you can start to plan for the repairs that are coming down the road. So do not commit this deadly sin. Always, always, always get a home inspector.
Okay. Hey, Bill.
What's next?
Deadly sin number 5, buying at the very tippy top of your buying range. The thing is, especially when you're buying your first house, there's a lot of things you've never needed before. A snowblower, painting equipment, might not have a mower. You've never had a garden, let's say. There are so many little expenses that you don't even know about when you're buying a home. So if you buy at the very tippy top and then you need a new car, you're going to be very, very, very much upside down. So the reality is, don't buy at the tippy top. Make sure you can always put money away in your savings and you can comfortably afford the rest of your money. Do not become what we call house rich and cash poor. Always make sure you can save money. Do not buy at the very tippy top.
Tippy tap more.
So that is deadly sin number 5, which is buying at the very, very top of your budget. Deadly sin number 6 is using the listing agent to buy. Now this one sounds like duh, but reality is there's this thought that if I call the listing agent, they're going to give me a better deal because they don't have to pay the other half that commission. That, in fact, is not true. When a seller is going to sell their house, they contract with the agent how much they're paying that agent and how much they're going to pay the agent that brings a qualified buyer who closes on the house. So if you just call that listing agent, they're going to get paid not only what they're making, but also the buyer's side. Secondly, they are legally bound to the seller to get them the best price for their house. So if you ask them a question as a buyer, hey, is this or this wrong? Or do you think they'll take this and it's a lower offer? They are legally bound to not tell you. They will not do anything that will cost their client any money. So do not use the listing agent to buy the house. They are not working for you. They're legally bound to the other, and it can cost you thousands of dollars. So don't commit deadly sin number 6, using the listing agent. 7th deadly sin. Now this one, I'm sure you could guess it, but that's not using your own qualified agent.
You're qualified.
Now what does that mean? What's a qualified agent? Qualified agent not only knows the paperwork, which isn't necessarily the most complicated part of it. My 16-year-old assistant figured out all the paperwork in 10 days. Wasn't that hard. The reality is paperwork's only a portion of it. It's what protects you, protects the seller, protects everyone through the course of it. But the real power and what you want with your agent is their network. They know who actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to home inspections. They know which lenders will do what's in your best interest, not theirs. They also know contractors, painters, maintenance techs. They have a huge list of people who can help you buy your home, maintain it, and fix any problems you might find during the purchasing process.
Huge.
So get a qualified agent who has your best interest in mind. It's not about the money. It's about solving problems and making sure that your purchase process goes as smoothly as possible. Because remember, there's no perfect houses. There's no perfect situations. You need a qualified agent to help fix and help you through the hard parts of buying a home. So that when you turn that key for the first time in your brand new home, you know you made the right decision. So don't commit deadly sin number 7, which is not using a qualified agent. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Bill Dean with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Alliance Group here in Bismarck, and I am your real estate expert. Thanks for watching.